Source for the hour: Prime Minister Abiy commended information system developed by Ministry of Skills and Labour. And hundreds of thousands displayed following flash flooding in Somalia. Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Biniam Getana. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in full. Do stay tuned. The Government Communication Service warned extremist groups to desist from engaging in unlawful and destructive ventures. In a statement it issued the previous day, the Government Communication recalled that Ethiopia's journey toward this comprehensive reform over the past few years has been far from a bed of roses, adding it was marred by complicated conspiracies and political sabotage by destructive groups, underlining the need to engage in constructive dialogue even when differences seem irreconcilable. The Government Communication Service nevertheless underscored that some extremist groups have opted to indulge in undermining the reform initiatives and smear campaigns against the government, recalling that Ethiopians went out in mass and overwhelmingly voted for the incumbent in a democratic election 2 years ago. It said maneuvering one's way to political power by any means other than the ballot box is a nightmarish endeavor. It said these extremist groups have plunged into cutthroat campaigns of making it look like one ethnic group are oppressor while others are marginalized, adding they have never been genuine representatives of the ethnic group they claim to advocate for. The Government Communication Service finally called upon the general public to remain vigilant and stand by the crackdown on extremists seeking to destroy the nation. Meanwhile, Ethiopia has determined to ensure an integrated information system that plays an important role in building instructional capacities and working ethics. The achievement secured by Labour and Skills Ministry as well recognized by the Prime Minister on Sunday. The Prime Minister visited the ministry and lauded the capacity building of institutions and foreign employment information system implemented by the Ministry of Labour and Skills. Daniel Kassaun has compiled the following story. Take a look.
The employment information system being flourished in Ethiopia is believed to modernize the information management in institutions and thereby resulting in conducive working environments and harmonious situations for citizens to eliminate problems that used to befall them. With regard to foreign workers, the task the ministry undergoes includes interviewing and selection, causing medical examination, approval of employment contract, provision of pre-employment and pre-departure orientations, facilitation of departure of employed workers and other similar services.
በጣም አስደሳች ስራ ሰርተዋል። አንደኛው የስራ አካባቢ
The Ministry of Labour and Skills has made significant intervention to facilitate working environment to be productive. In this regard, lots of achievements are secured within a short period of time. But the aims of the institution as it is seen from its outcomes to ensure the rights, dignity and safety of Ethiopian workers overseas, a lot has been achieved. Nowadays, many countries in the world are looking for skilled and non-skilled immigrant workers for job opening in many different sectors. The intervention Ethiopia is doing would have paramount importance to curb problems encountered so far by Ethiopian citizens. We need to strengthen the move to benefit all.
The current trend in Ethiopia is pursued per the government's plan to have transformed institutions for better products and services.
አሁን ያየነው ዴቨሎፕ ያደረጉት ሲስተም በተለይ ለውጭ ሀገር ስራ ስምሪት 100% ስራ ጀምሯል።
The platform and all the activities we have observed improve the work ethics of all the institutions who apply it. What has been seen here is instrumental for our endeavors to be productive in every sector and serve the public in a satisfactory manner. Today we have seen you working here on Sunday. All of you deserve acknowledgement. This has to be emulated by other institutions.
Ethiopia's overseas employment interventions are being well facilitated by the ministry, and the move prohibits an overseas deployment of workers without a certificate of occupational competence. Ethiopia's overseas employment proclamation and amendment are enacted with the purpose of protecting the rights, dignity and safety of Ethiopian workers abroad.
Meanwhile, the governments of Ethiopia and Islamic Republic of Pakistan have agreed to establish a comprehensive mechanism to further strengthen the rapidly growing bilateral ties by enhancing bilateral, regional and multilateral cooperation in diverse fields. The consensus to this effect was developed during a meeting between Ambassador Misgano Arega, Minister of State of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, and Bilawal Bishtu Zandri, Foreign Minister of Pakistan. Both held a productive discussion on a range of issues to bolster bilateral, regional and multilateral cooperation between the two brotherly countries. They also discussed matters of mutual interest, including political, economic and social cooperation. Misgano Arega, Minister of State of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, said the visit of high-powered officials and business delegations to Pakistan demonstrated Ethiopia's commitment to advance multifaceted relations with Pakistan. Likewise, the State Minister said resumption of Ethiopian Airlines flight operation between Pakistan and Ethiopia would boost implementation on the Look for African initiative of the government of Pakistan. The government of Ethiopia was keen to advance bilateral, regional and multilateral cooperation with Pakistan in the spirit of brotherhood and South-South cooperation, Misgano added. Likewise, the International Fire and Emergency Prevention Day was celebrated in Addis Ababa the previous day. The day was celebrated for the 24th time in the world and for the second time in Ethiopia. On the celebration ceremony, Mayor of the Addis Ababa City Administration, Adanechi Abebe, said that in the past 2 years, the city administration has given due attention to the prevention of fire and emergencies. The mayor said that the respect should be given to disaster prevention workers and firefighters, as they are the ones who go into danger to prevent accidents and give their own life to save the lives of others. She urged residents of the city to do their part in the prevention of fire and any accidents in the capital. In other news, African World Heritage Day, May 5, has been important for people around the world, particularly Africans, to celebrate the continent's unique cultural and natural heritage. UNESCO is committed to spearhead informational efforts to draw on the vast potential of Africa's cultural and natural heritage as a force of poverty reduction and social cohesion, as well as a driver of sustainable development and innovation. African World Heritage Day marked in Karat town of Konso district, Ethiopia. Marking the day, Hiwat Hailu, Deputy Director, Ethiopian Authority for Research and Conservation of Cultural Heritage, saying that Ethiopia houses multi-tangible and intangible historical heritage that demands preserving for passing them down for the generation. She added.
We all know that our country Ethiopia is home for ancient civilization and diverse culture, and these historical and cultural civilizations were passed down to generations by our wise forefathers who care for the generation and history. So we have responsibility to pass down for the coming generation, preserving and using them for developmental intentions as well.
Meanwhile, Dawit Gabayo, Konso Zone Chief Administrator, reiterated that more efforts will be made while commemorating the day Konso's tangible heritage registered by the UNESCO.
It is known that our heritage in the area have become well known and exemplary in Ethiopia and even outside of the country. So you know that Konso-based trace practice have been registered by UNESCO. But we never had any given day to commemorate that. But this year, on June 30, we would mark the day. Celebrating African Tourism Day here in our town have inspired us in a great deal.
In other news, the renowned clarinist David Freu, who suddenly found dead in hotel in Italy, has been laid to rest on Sunday at Holy Trinity Cathedral graveyard in the capital, Addis Ababa, in the presence of mourners, religious leaders, public representatives, artists and his loved ones, musicians, including the State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Burtukan Ayano. Clarinist and singer David Freu graduated from St. Yared Music School with major clarinet and alto saxophone player. Known for his amazing clarinet playing, Dawit Freo played clarinet works of great composition during his time at music school. After serving as a clarinist and alto saxophone in the Ethiopian National Theatre, he published his first album composed of instrumental music. Dawit had the opportunity to publish an album and perform concerts in several countries abroad with the new acoustic band. In addition, Dawit published 3 instrumental compositions in an album. Dawit died suddenly at the age of 44 in Rome, Italy, where he had gone to perform music. In our business segment, the Ethiopian Sugar Industry Group said that concerted efforts have been carried out to completely substitute the country's demand for sugar with domestic production in the upcoming 5 years. Ethiopia has planned to increase sugar production from current 3.6 million quintals to 30 million quintals in the next 5 years. Tigist Nisa has compiled the following story. Have a look.
Ethiopia's sugar consumption per capita is sharply increasing from time to time. The country has been importing sugar from abroad to meet the demand of citizens. Retta Demmeka, public relations and participation head at the Ethiopian Sugar Industry Group, told Ethiopian news agency that the domestic production and supply of sugar has not been matching the ever-growing demand of the public. Retta stressed that Ethiopian Sugar Industry Group was re-established in March 2022 with the intention to match the supply and demand of sugar production. The head added that since the industry group was re-established, it has been working hard on solutions by identifying the bottlenecks that caused the decline in sugarcane production and the raising of production costs. Attention has been given to expanding the irrigation infrastructure for the newly built sugar factories. Therefore, maximum efforts are being intensified to fully meet the domestic demand and replace sugar production imports beginning in 2023, the head explained.
The country has embarked on a strategic plan so that the demand for sugar production can be covered domestically. A 5-year strategic plan was introduced to identify the bottlenecks for the reduction of sugar products and the reasons for the increase in production costs. Therefore, the strategy is important to overcome these difficulties. Another issue is to expand irrigation development infrastructures, especially in new projects to increase their coverage and yield of sugarcane productivity. We are working on a plan that will help us to stop importing sugar after 2025.
Indicating that there are currently 8 sugar factories in Ethiopia, the head stressed that these factories are working to produce more than 12 millions of quintals of sugar annually in the next 5 years.
These factories are operational with its full capacity. We have created multiple incentives for them to increase their productivities. We have planned to produce more than 12 million quintals of sugar annually in the next 5 years.
In addition to the production of sugarcane cultivated by the factories themselves, he also stated that there is a practice of buying sugarcane cultivated by farmers and associations in their respective areas.
Moving to our final news package, around 200,000 people have been displaced due to flash flooding in central Somalia as the Shabelle River burst its banks and submerged roads, and residents of Beledweyne town in Hirna region were forced out of their homes as heavy rainfall caused water levels to rise sharply. Goshima Leso takes it from African News.
These children are some of the 200,000 people that have been internally displaced following flash flood in central Somalia. Their mother explained that they fled their home in the middle of the night when the waters hit hometown of Beledweyne just 4 days ago. As families collect a water point in the camp, residents of the town described how they were relieved to have escaped with their lives. Many of them said they could only take their children. All their belongings were left behind. Officials say only 3 people died in the flooding. As people in Beledweyne went through the sometimes waist-level water, the country faces a recorded drought that has left millions of Somalis on the brink of famine. Experts say extreme weather events like this one are happening with increased frequency and intensity due to climate change.
Here are now a recap of the top stories once again. Prime Minister Abiy commended information system developed by Ministry of Skills and Labour. And hundreds of thousands displayed following flash flooding in Somalia. You've been watching Addis News Hour. I'm Biniam Gitana. Thank you for joining us. Have a blessed and beautiful time. Goodbye for me now.